Pally.
Today is Thursday, December 13th, 2018.
And INFocus starts right now. The Quad will be hosting a few events in the near future.
An update on Brexit.
And a resource for studying rounds off today.
All that and more is coming up on today's show.
Welcome to INFocus. I'm Stella Essemacher.
And I'm Leon Friedrichowitz.
There's a lot going on around campus.
Here's some important announcements from today's campus bulletin.
Tomorrow is PJ Day, so be sure to show up in jammies, blankets, or onesies to celebrate the end of Dead Week. Students that are feeling pre-final stress should stop by the Quad to enjoy activities including free toy squishies, aromatherapy, and a coloring area. SCO Globe, an ASB-sponsored music festival, will be happening in January. Students and groups who are interested in performing should fill out the form at tinyurl.com/SCOGlobeApp.
The Girls in STEM end of the year celebration will happen tomorrow during lunch in room 852. The food will be provided. Head out to the Quad tomorrow during lunch for the Poem in Your Pocket event. Poetry Elves will be handing out poems as gifts for the holidays and giving readings. Everyone who takes a poem will be entered into a raffle to win a gift certificate. A portion of the proceeds of boba from the Midtown's Teaspoon today from 4 to 9 p.m. will go towards senior class events.
Moving on now from what's going on around campus to what's happening in the world and locally today.
Let's take a look at what's topping today's headlines in today's News Minute.
In Europe, the EU Court of Justice has ruled that the United Kingdom can unilaterally pull out of Brexit if it chooses. This comes a day before a vote is expected in the British Parliament on the Brexit deal Prime Minister Theresa May negotiated with the EU. If the deal is rejected, difficulties in the House could lead to forced general elections and a new vote on Brexit.
A pilot is in serious condition after his jet crashed during military exercises in Hawaii. The plane went down into the ocean near Honolulu Wednesday afternoon, but the pilot ejected before the crash, and he was pulled from the water by a sailboat crew. Officials say that the Sentry Aloha exercises were later suspended. The crash is still under investigation.
A 5-year farm bill is headed to President Donald Trump's desk. The House passed legislation on Wednesday, 369 votes to 47. It addressed the opioid epidemic in rural areas and excludes previously Trump-supported plans to add stricter work requirements for food stamp participants. The measure invests $300 million into prevention and response for animal pests and disease, addresses access to broadband internet and farm stress, and mental health services. Lawmakers also included legislation to legalize industrial hemp. The Senate signed off on the Farm Bill a day earlier in 87-13 vote. The American Civil War was a pivotal event in the United States history, but when the fighting was beginning, the Union armies were struggling with problems concerning leadership.
And Kyle, our very own resident historian, has been learning more.
What do you have for us today, Kyle?
Well, Stella, on this day in 1862, the First Battle of Fredericksburg took place in Fredericksburg, Virginia. During the beginning of the American Civil War, President Lincoln struggled to find commanders who were up to the task of commanding the Union armies. After the two sides fought to a draw at Antietam, Lincoln believed that his army should pursue the retreating Confederates, but General George McClellan withdrew his forces instead. For this, he was relieved of duty and replaced by General Ambrose Burnside. With the goal of capturing Richmond, Burnside moved the Army of the Potomac into Northern Virginia. Delayed by bureaucratic inefficiency, the Union Army eventually built pontoon bridges over the Rappahannock River to break the Confederate Army of Northern Virginia, which was residing in the city of Fredericksburg. They crossed on December 11th, and on December 13th, 1862, their attack was decidedly repulsed. With Union casualties nearly triple those of the Graycoats, Fredericksburg is considered one of the most one-sided battles of the Civil War. For his blunder, Burnside was relieved of duty and replaced by Joseph Hooker. Well, that's all for me. Back to you, Stella and Leon.
The Mitchell Park Teen Center has been hosting an event for students who want a good study environment to prepare for finals. Kyle Sweezy has been researching the story and has more on this.
Sports.
Now let's switch gears from history to sports.
Jason is in the studio now with the latest in Pally Sports news.
Thanks, guys. Yesterday was a big day with both wins and losses for Pally. As they say, you win some, you lose some. Starting out on the pitch, the boys varsity soccer got a kick out of Junipero Serra with a score of 62. Boys JV basketball took an L against Santa Teresa with a score of 36 points to 46 points. Girls varsity basketball knocked it down and won against Menlo Atherton with 52 to 33. At Pally, girls JV soccer will play St. Ignatius starting at 5 p.m. That's all for me. Back to you.
Thanks, Jason. I'm really looking forward to PJ Day tomorrow, Leon.
Me too. It's been really chilly outside for the past few days.
Our meteorologist Thomas is in the studio now with today's weather report. Thomas, what can we expect out there today?
Well, it looks like the chill is here to stay, so make sure to wear your thickest jammies to school tomorrow. What's going on, Pally? It's your weatherman Thomas Colburn. Let's talk about weather around the Bay Area today. So as we look at San Francisco, we have a high of 61, a low 48, roughly around 58 degrees right now, with winds at about 8 miles an hour. As we look at Oakland, we have a high of 63 and a low of 49, roughly around 61 degrees right now. And as we go down south, down into San Jose, we have a high of 62 and a low of 48, roughly around 60 degrees. So that's our Bay Area temperatures for today. As we look at Palo Alto, today was around 62 degrees. We had a high of 64, a low of 47. Winds at about 5 miles an hour. Humidity around 42%, so not super humid today. As we look at PJ Day and Saturday, we have highs of low 60s and lows of low 50s. And as we look at the 5cast, we're looking at highs at low 60s, lows around 50s to mid 40s. But next week, we're expecting a lot of clouds, so you can get a lot of good studying for finals. All right, that's Thomas Colburn, your weatherman. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Thomas. Well, we didn't have the video earlier about studying, but now here it is.
What is the purpose of this event?
Alright, so the event this time we're having is targeted to essentially like finals, because we know that that's kind of a stressful time, and we also wanted to encourage students to study before the weekend before finals, so we thought we would design this event and kind of just have a lot of like tutors around, so essentially they can just ask questions, study with friends, and like kind of ease into the final studying.
Carissa is a volunteer tutor here at the Slam Cram event.
I'm here today because I'm part of an organization that really believes in the benefit and mentorship, as we've all been really benefited from our own mentors in our lives. And so we want to be here, we want to be a useful resource to youth in the Bay Area. We want to get to know them, we want to hear their issues and help them in their academics, in their career, in their values, characters, and whatever issues that they might encounter in their lives, and we're happy to be here.
2 gun students at this event used various strategies to study for finals.
Okay, so we are here to work on our finals, and for all of our finals that were assigned to us. I'm working on geometry. Just being here with a place that has lots of food and access to help is really helpful. Yeah. There are a lot of tutors here that can help us with what we don't know, and our friends can also support us in understanding the questions, which is really great.
Well, that does it for today's episode.
Be sure to visit our website to check out old episodes, check the bulletins, or to send us an email.
Until next time, have a great day, Pally.